In this episode, I thought we could talk about 16 different video recording tools and some of the pros and cons of each one to help you figure out which one should I be using to record not only your lessons for your courses, but maybe for social media, for different videos that you want to share, even sharing videos with your team. So let's get to it.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
Hey, welcome. So glad you're here. And I thought today we could dig in a little bit deeper on the concept of recording video. And so, and I want to be specific here. I'm really focusing on the recording side of things. We're not going to talk so much about editing and the rest of the video experience, but mostly just focused on recording, because once you get that part figured out, then you can do the editing and figure out the ways that works for you. But I've got 16 different tools. This genre has expanded so much since I started. It used to be there were only a couple tools that you could actually use to record, and now there's so many, including quite a few that are online. And so figuring out how to actually use these in the best possible way for yourself is one of the big questions. So let's jump into it. 16 different video recording tools. And I will say, how do you figure out which one to use? If there's all of these different tools, how do you figure out which one? So here's a couple things to think about. One is, which one is going to have the smallest learning curve for you? So some of the tools, like I know how to use already. I can record a video super fast. I know their quirks and how they operate. So those are the best ones for me. May not necessarily be the best ones for you. So depending on which ones you already know how to operate, that's one piece of the puzzle. Another piece is just budget. You know, how much can you afford to spend on your tools right now, and how much do you want to spend? And then the last piece of the puzzle is just trying some of these things out and see if they make sense for you, if they do what you need to. If you have any special requirements or special things that you want to be able to do, then some of the tools aren't as savvy as other ones. So first off, I have to tell you, one of my easiest ways to record is to just go into a Zoom call and record myself. I know how to use the share screen button, so I can share my screen or I can share my presentations. It's pretty easy to start and stop. You can pause the recording as you're going. And so I kind of like the whole Zoom concept. I know where the files are going to go, which, by the way, I want to tell you, if you have had issues with not enough space on Zoom, there's two things you can do. One is I've set up my Zoom to go to my Dropbox account where I pay for a lot of space. So it's cheaper than paying for Zoom space. So it puts all my Zoom calls out on Dropbox. So that's one way to deal with the space issue. Another thing you can do too is have it saving to your computer if you have a big hard drive. The challenge here is it does fill it up. You know, video files are just huge, so you're going to have to come up with a way to store them and keep them, and probably something that you'll have to make some space or pay for some space somehow or another. So my solution has been Dropbox. So number one tool to share with you is Zoom. And then Zoom has also added a new feature that they call Zoom Clips, which are intended to help you if you're doing your own videos. You're not doing a conference where you've got other people, that you're just doing your own, like recording for a course. So check out the Zoom Clips option, because you might find that works a little bit better for you. Okay, so those are the first two tools. And then after that, things get a little more complex, a little bit more challenging, and really kind of jump in more to what your strengths are. So the next one I want to talk about is only because I've been using it forever, is a tool called Camtasia. And it's actually a tool that you install on your computer. It's kind of pricey, I'll be honest, but back in the day when I started, it was one of the only tools that were available to do video recording. Plus, you can do editing in it. So it does have that built-in editor feature that you won't necessarily find in other places. Two more tools that are online tools that I've used that I really like. One is Loom, and Loom actually gives you a certain amount of free videos of a certain length. I think they're pretty short. The last time I looked, it was like 5-minute videos that you can host for free, and depending on, I'm not sure where they are now, but Loom, you actually launch from your browser, so it makes it really fast to get a link to a video. And I use this a lot with my team because I could record a video for them and then share it really quickly. And then a new one that's in this group that I was using yesterday that I'm experimenting with and I think I like is called Tella. And I'll put links to these in the show notes if you want to go check it out. And what's neat about Tella is with one recording, you can get multiple views, and then you can go back and change, they call them layouts. So for example, if I want to do a screen share of a PowerPoint, I can do that, and then I can switch to full screen of me, and then I can switch to me in the corner. So it adds a lot of variety fairly easily to your video without having to have multiple cameras set up and trying to sync all the videos together, all that nonsense. So Tella is kind of interesting for giving you some more options. And then sort of related to this, I host videos on a tool called Searchy. And so it also has an option where you can put it in your browser and record a quick video via your browser and then get the link to it really quickly. So that's not generally the purpose, but it is a nice little feature that Searchy has. So that has been really fun to use. Then the next one that I want to talk about is Descript. And Descript, you've heard me mention before, and it's not only good for recording, it's got some incredible editing features for you. So it'll take out the ums and the ahs very easily. And it will also do a whole bunch of other things. I'll link to the episode that we did with Lou Bortone, and he talked a lot about Descript, and he teaches about Descript. So I'll link to that so that you can check it out and see, you know, maybe you want to actually record inside the tool that you're going to edit with, because it's one less thing to download the file, upload the file, edit the all that. So it's all in one space for you. So you might want to check that out. All right. So where are we at on the number of tools we've talked about here? So we're at 7 of our 17, so I need to step it up. Number 8 is PowerPoint, and I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually record videos inside PowerPoint. And I have one of my students doing this right now, and she was able to insert her camera into certain slides, so she's actually on certain slides. So that's a very cool feature. I will say, if you're using older versions of PowerPoint, maybe not the best idea, because I heard there were issues with the syncing of the audio and the video and the sharing with PowerPoint. So just test before you do all of your videos and see if it's working. And I have not heard that problem in newer versions. So if you're updated, you're probably okay on that one. And then there's a whole bunch of tools specifically for Mac users. So for those of you who are Mac users, I just wanted to share some of these because you may already have these on your computer and you don't need to get a new tool. So QuickTime can do video recording. ScreenFlow, I believe, is a paid tool, and I've had students who really loved working with ScreenFlow. And then iMovie. So if you have Mac devices, those are potential ones that you could be using for your video recording. Okay, and then the last 6 that I want to mention for you are all of these ones about live streaming. And what's cool about these tools is, especially if you are wanting to have a guest. So they're intentionally meant for either live streaming out to your social media. So they've got in some built-in features for that. Or they are meant for podcasters who are trying to record with guests and they want to have high quality recordings. So I will tell you, for most of my podcasts, when I have a guest, I just use Zoom. But here are some other tools that you can also use for that. Okay, for live streaming, there's two tools. One is Restream and another is StreamYard. And I've been using Restream when I do my lives so that I connect it up, and I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. Let's see, where else did we connect it? YouTube, and it seems like there's a fourth place. So basically when I go live, I can go live in all of those places at the same time. So it makes life so much easier than having to do separate live events. So that's an option here. You could also then download these and turn them into videos that you're using for whatever content that you need, or either to create short YouTube reels, that kind of thing, or I guess you could technically turn them into course videos. I would probably delete them, though, from your live sessions, because you don't want people to pay for things and then to come back and find them for free on your YouTube channel or something. So if you're going to do that, I would delete them later. And then the another actual, this one is for a live streaming, I believe, and it's Ecamm Live, and it's just for the Mac. So I haven't actually used this one. I've seen the speakers use it, and it's got some cool features for where they can show up on the videos. So I think that's kind of fun with Ecamm Live, but it's just for Mac users. And then the last two are for podcasters primarily, but you could play with them and see if they could do what you needed to. The big feature that they have is that you can get higher quality than, say, Zoom when you're recording with a guest, or when you're recording. Their goal is to have higher quality for you. So that's Riverside, and then another one is Squadcast. So those two are also ones you can play with. The big thing to remember, I've heard someone say, I think this was with Riverside in particular, is to make sure at the end you don't close until it has completely uploaded. Since it's doing higher quality video, those video files tend to get large, and it needs to have time to get everything uploaded to the server. So you can see there's so many options, and sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad, because you can get lost in trying to figure out which one is the best for you, and which one should I be using, and which one's going to save me the most money. And so I would say, if you're struggling in that land of, oh no, I don't know what to use, I would pick the one that you think is going to be the easiest for you to get started, the easiest. And then you could always upgrade or extend out into another tool if you're just unhappy with the results that you're getting, or you want to go up another level. But which ones do you think are going to be easiest? And like I mentioned, I will put the links to these in the show notes. Some of them will be affiliate links, just so you know that. That where I'll make a small commission off. You won't pay anymore, but I will make a commission if you end up signing up with them. So I appreciate that. And I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know. Message me on Instagram or Facebook if you have questions, and we can dig in a little bit deeper. But thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful for you. I appreciate you giving me the space in your earbuds each week. And I realized I had one of my listeners mention, I've talked about leaving reviews in the past, but then I never tell you how to do it. So if you're using Apple Podcasts, here's how you can leave a review, not only for this podcast, for the Course Creators HQ podcast, for any of the podcasts that you really love. It will so help your favorite podcasters, because they don't get a lot of feedback. So it's always nice to get some 5-star reviews and know that they are being helpful and you really like their podcast. So here's how you do it when you are using Apple Podcasts, because they kind of bury this, I'll be honest. So you go into the episode that you are listening to, and you have to click on the actual show name. You want to go to the show. So you can either click on the show name on the screen, or you can use the 3 dots and you say go to show, 3 dots in the upper right hand side. So then you're on the show page, you're not on an episode page. And it will list out several of their most current episodes. And you just keep scrolling down and scrolling down and scrolling down. And eventually you'll get to a place where it says to leave a review. So hopefully that will be helpful for you so that you can actually leave those reviews for your favorite podcasters. And I will totally appreciate it. Thank you if you don't mind. Hope you're doing well. Have an incredible week. I hope this episode was helpful, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.